I'm going to take a look at the Technoline mobile alert system. The Technoline mobile alert system will allow you to view sensor data, maybe temperature data, wind, rainfall, humidity. There's a wide range of sensors available. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what the system does. You've no doubt seen some information online, read about that, and maybe that's why you're watching this video. But today what I'm going to focus on is the gateway, and it's the gateway which forms the heart of the system, and without the gateway none of the system will work. You need at least one gateway, and one gateway will support any number of sensors, all different sensors within the range. Any sensor data will flow via the gateway, via the internet to the cloud server, and then that information is then available on your smart device, whether it be a smartphone or tablet, and that information will be visible from the sensors via the gateway to the cloud server and back to your app. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that now, but what we are going to do is we're going to take a quick look at the gateway, and today we're going to be looking at the MA10001 gateway set. Okay, so here it comes in a nice environmentally friendly packaging, nice cardboard box, no plastic on the packaging. Okay, and inside the box we get one gateway, small compact little unit. The gateway simply needs to be powered up. There's a mains adapter included, and in this particular set we've got one sensor, which is a temperature sensor. Okay, so we'll take a look at that later, but for the time being we're just going to focus on the gateway. Also in the box we've got an RJ45 Ethernet cable for connecting the gateway to the to your router. It must be connected to the internet to work, so all it needs is power and connection to the internet. Also in the box we've just got a few fixing screws and wall plugs in case you wanted to fix the sensor to a wall or somewhere similar. Pair of batteries for the sensor, and we've got the reference card for the sensor ID. Each sensor has a unique ID. They need to be unique so that you can uniquely identify the readings from it. Okay, all sensors will have a QR code with the alphanumeric unique ID, but there's also the same number will be on the reference card, which you can put somewhere safe. Okay, so the power supply that comes with this unit is from batterylogic.co.uk, so it's the UK version, and it comes with the factory supplied UK power supply, as you'd imagine. Okay, so first thing we'll do is we will power up the gateway. Okay, so we'll just plug the power supply into the mains and power it up. Now just point out this little silver flap here actually raises up. Okay, some users will be oblivious to that and they can't quite see the LEDs. Okay, the LEDs we're going to be referring to are under this flap here. Okay, so I'm just going to power up the unit, plug in the power supply, and you'll see the LEDs will go through a brief initialization sequence. Okay, some red and yellow lights, red and green lights. Okay, and then the LED is now just in a green flashing state. That's telling us that the gateway is powered on, but it's saying it can't see the cloud server. Well, simple reason for that. The internet is quite simple, simply because it's not plugged in. Okay, so the cable that comes with the gateway, it's just a little bit too short for where I've set up the camera to get to our router, so I'm just using a slightly longer cable to make the connection. Okay, so if you watch here, you'll notice that the I'm just going to take the power it back up. You'll notice that the light will very shortly go a solid green. There it goes. It's a nice solid green. So that's just telling us that the gateway is of course powered up, but it's now checked in with the cloud server. So now any sensor data which is in range of the gateway will now be flowing up to the cloud server and will be available via the app. Okay, so the next thing to do will be to download and install the app. Okay, now I'm using an Android device here, so I'm going to go to the Google Play Store. Of course, if you've got an Apple iPad or an Apple iPhone, you'll go to the Apple App Store. Okay, but either way, you're going to search for mobile alerts. Okay, and you'll see the mobile alerts app will come up. It's the same symbol as you've got on the card, the little home automation mobile alerts house symbol. Okay, so mobile alerts will simply select the app and install it. Now I've already installed it on this device, so it's just to be a little bit quicker, but you download it and then once it's ready you simply open it. Now we're actually going to take a look at the finer points of the app. We're going to switch to some screen recording. Okay, so now we've switched to live screen recording, so we should be able to get a closer look at what we're going to do. As I said, I'm using an Android device, so I'm going to go to the Play Store to download the app. If you're using an Apple iPhone or an Apple iPad, you'll of course go to the Apple App Store to download the app. Pretty much the same process either way. We're just going to put in mobile alerts to download the app to our device. Okay, so mobile alerts, and there it is, top of the pile there, mobile alerts with a little blue home automation house there. So we'll just touch on the app and download it. Now I've already downloaded it on this device just to speed things up a little bit, so I'm going to go straight to open. Now when you first go into the app the first time you use it, you'll have a pretty standard terms and conditions, or you just accept that, and then you'll be taken to this screen. Okay, so this is the dashboard. There's quite a few sensors already on here, but these are sample sensors. They're all got live data. They're all coming from Technoline's offices in Germany. Some are in Berlin, some are in Hanover, but they're all live with some real data. So even if you just wanted to download the app and take a look at the app so you can get a feel for what you're letting yourself in for, you've got most of the apps: wind, rain, temperature, humidity, door, contact sensors, etc. Okay, but what we're going to do, we're going to scroll down to add new sensor. The MA10001 UK set that we're looking at today, that comes with a temperature sensor. So let's set this up so we can take a closer look at it. It says add new sensor towards the bottom of the dashboard, so we'll just select there and it will automatically, if the camera is enabled, open the camera. Now please forgive me here, the camera on this phone is not very well at the moment, so the colours are not very good, but it should still work. We'll simply get the QR code on the sensor in view, and there we go, it's gone green at the bottom. It's just telling us that it's detected the sensor and it's come up on the dashboard. Now this is it in yellow. Okay, and it's saying please enter description. It's the first thing we're going to do. We'll give it a meaningful name. You may only have one sensor, but you may also have many sensors, so it just makes sense to give them a meaningful name. Okay, it might be upstairs, downstairs, front room, back room, fridge, freezer, whatever. Okay, so we're just going to tap on this, the yellow one, and up the top there in the yellow it says please enter description. So I'm just going to call this temp sensor. Okay, not very creative, but there you go. Okay, and then I'm going to press enter on the keyboard. Just wait a moment, you'll see the little timer wheel in the middle there. Just give that a moment. Once that's completed, it's saved it. So if I now go back, top left hand corner of the screen, the little back arrow, just go back there and it'll take us back to the dashboard, and now you'll see down there in yellow the temperature sensor. So you'll see the date, time, the current reading, and the sensor ID. Okay, so if I touch in on this sensor, I can now see a little bit more information. So I've got the name of the sensor at the top, and then I've got the history of the sensor. This is just a sensor that's been set up in the office. It's it's the middle of summer now, it's quite warm, and here's the temperature. So you'll see every 7 minutes the sensor will flick some data. Temperature doesn't change that quickly in 7 minutes, is just fine. And you'll just see some history. You can go in bottom right hand corner. I'll just press there. Let me go back so you can see it again. Bottom right hand corner, it says history, so I'll just go to history, and I can go and let's go back and have a look at I don't know, let's go back and look at specific date. It will store I think it's 90 days worth of data. Okay, once we've got a sensor in there, we can set an alert. Okay, so we might want to be alerted when the temperature reaches a certain level, drops below a certain level, or falls outside of a range of temperatures. Okay, so just up here near the top where you've got the temperature, you can see a little black plus button where it says add alert. So I'm just going to touch on there, and you can see now we've got alert, so we can either set a minimum temperature, maximum temperature, or range of temperature. So if I wanted to be alerted if the temperature dropped below, I don't know, 15 degrees, just making this up, it can of course be anything. Okay, if I wanted it to drop when it drops below 15 degrees, I would receive an alert. Might also want an alert if the temperature goes above a certain temperature. So I can say if it goes above, I don't know, 25 degrees. These are quite often used in chiller cabinets or freezers, so it might be if it was a freezer, you might want to know if it went above minus 15 degrees, for example. Might indicate that a freezer is starting to fail. Might be a chiller cabinet. It could be anything. Okay, you might just want to say, well, just tell me if it goes outside a range. Okay, so there's the range option, and again you've got a minimum and a maximum. Okay, so you can set your alert. Now the way the alert will work is it will push an alert to your phone, so it'll appear just like a little notification up in the taskbar of your device. You go and open it, it will tell you temperature sensor and whichever alert condition has been met, and it will tell you what the current temperature is. Okay, so that can be very useful in many applications. I mean, there's just so many uses and so many ways that these sensors are used. I'm not going to describe them all, but if ever you need to be alerted when certain temperature conditions are met, or temperatures are outside a certain range, you will automatically receive an alert. Okay, right, so I'm just going to go back to the dashboard. There are other sensors here, as I've said, right, but these sensors are live test sensors. They're very useful if you just want to download the app and have a little play with the app, and you can be looking at some real data. Okay, but once you're up and running and using it for yourself, you probably don't want the information there, but it's very straightforward. You simply press edit, top left hand corner of the dashboard screen here. So I'm going to press edit, top left hand corner, and you'll see little red minus buttons here. So just go and touch that, delete sensor, delete. I'm just going to delete all these sample sensors. Okay, so I'm just going to go and press on the minus buttons to delete them. Sorry, I've got myself in a little bit of a pickle there. Right, so delete the sensors, Okay, so you can see that these sensors are disappearing, so I'm just going to delete a few more. Done. Okay, almost there. So we're just deleting all the samples. So now the dashboard is much clearer. We've just got our own little sensor that we just set up, the temperature sensor, and we can just click in and look at that at any time. So hopefully that was quite straightforward. I'm just going to show you one other little thing. I'm just going to go back to add a sensor. So I'm going to say add new sensor again. But let's say for some reason the camera is not working. I mean, this camera is just holding on by the skin of its teeth. But let's say your camera doesn't work, or you don't have a camera on there, or it's disabled for whatever reason. If you look down the bottom here, you've got on the bottom right hand corner it says keyboard. So if we go to keyboard, we can now type in the 12 character alphanumeric code. I'm just making it up, pressing blah blah whatever here, but you would just look at the back of the sensor, look at the alphanumeric code and type it in manually, just in case the camera's not working. Okay, but hopefully you'll agree that it was all quite straightforward. We've looked at setting up the sensor, the gateway. The sensor is quite straightforward. Just pop the batteries in, and once we've downloaded the app, just scan the QR code on the back of the sensor, or as I said, bottom right hand corner, we can go to keyboard and add it in manually. Once it's in, you'll be able to view the sensor data on your smart device. Any number of smart devices can all be accessing the same sensor, so you might have one sensor and 5 different people, 10 different people. You can all set up the same sensor on the phone, and you can all have different alerts if you wanted on different devices for the same sensor. Okay, so it really is a neat little system, and I think that's enough for today, looking at the gateway and setting up the app and setting up sensors within it. Okay, there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed that, what we've seen so far today. The Technoline Mobile Alerts MA10001 UK gateway set. Okay, so just to recap, we've got the gateway, which must be powered in, physically hardwired into the router. Although the sensors are all wireless and they transmit wirelessly to the gateway must be physically hardwired into your router. It's not wireless. It can't talk to your router wirelessly. Okay, so plugged in, it must be powered in via the mains. But don't forget, you get the UK power supply from batterylogic.co.uk. Of course, Battery Logic are UK Technoline mobile alert specialists. If you've got any questions, you can contact Battery Logic directly. I'll always be very happy to help. We get the temperature sensor. Okay, so let's have a little recap what we've got. We've got the temperature sensor, the gateway, the UK power supply, we get a pair of batteries for the sensor, get a few screws and wall plugs for mounting the sensor if you so wish, RJ45 network cable, the QR code on a handy card which you can put somewhere safe. Of course, the QR code is also on the back of the sensor, but once that's fitted in place, it might be handy just to have the sensor in the drawer somewhere. Okay, and that is pretty much it. Okay, so the MA10001 UK set from Technoline Germany, the mobile alert system, available from batterylogic.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video.